Heyo everybody, what's going on? Thrive here, and welcome back to my channel. Finally, a week and 1 day since the Aquatic Pack launched, I am finally ready to show off my Aquatic Pack project. So, since Tuesday last week, I have seen some really incredible things that the community has made from the Aquatic Pack, some really amazing things, and I just figured that I would take my time and come up with something that I can be a bit more proud of, because if I had rushed it and just built it as quick as I could, then I can tell you I wouldn't be nearly as happy with it, and I don't think you guys would be nearly as happy with it as well. So anyway though, I'm not going to waste any time. Let's jump into the time-lapse segment so we can talk a little bit about where the idea of this project started and where it got to, and then lastly, of course, we will take an actual tour around the Pinniped Point. So where does this exhibit start? Well, of course, this exhibit is actually inspired off of the Maryland Zoo's penguin exhibit. So at first I did my research, I was going around looking for ideas, and there was something about their exhibit that just, something that I really enjoyed about it. It looked really good. First off, for penguins, it's huge, but I also believed it was big enough for gray seals as well. And so, yeah, I took a penguin exhibit and I converted it into a seal exhibit. As crazy as that is, it works. It actually really works well. The size is about the exact same. The entire model of the exhibit is modeled off of their penguin exhibit. So yeah, it proves it could work. You could actually turn it into a Pinniped exhibit if you really wanted to. So yeah, that's where the inspiration comes from. I stuck with some of the things they did, and I changed up some of the things they did. I definitely made it much more Pinniped-esque. It's much bigger and deeper for them. But again, the model and the general layout is the Maryland Zoo's penguin exhibit. While we're on the subject of inspiration, let's talk about the name. I'm fully aware that the name Pinniped Point is an actual existing zoo exhibit at the Brookfield Zoo. I just took what they had, took their name, and just plopped it on with this one. Honestly, I really like the name. Pinniped Point sounds exciting and very thematic, and that's what I wanted. I wasn't actually going to originally call this project that. Originally, I was going to be calling it Seal Cove, but that name got taken pretty quickly by multiple people, which I'm not surprised by. So I just figured, you know what, might as well go with Pinniped Point. I thought, I just kept thinking about that in my mind, and it works. I think it actually works really well with the actual exhibit. And as far as more of the architecture goes, again, it is inspired and heavily modeled off of the Maryland Zoo exhibit, so it's a good mix between the rock work and wood, the brand new recolorable wood pieces we have. In fact, both sets of new pieces are really good in my opinion. The new rock work is incredible. The new rocks that I used in rock work is incredible, and the recolorable wood pieces are some of my favorite in the game now. We really needed recolorable wood. It's going to help quite a lot, and I already used them to create sort of a dry wood kind of look. You'll see when we do the tour, I talk about it, but basically the architecture was supposed to be very harbor thematic. If you can imagine taking a harbor theme and converting it into a zoo attraction, that is what I was aiming for. Again, it's very thematic. It feels like it was built artificially, but it has a very, really good look to it, like an actual modern-day attraction that is man-made. So that's what I was striving for. But anyway, though, you know what? I think I've talked long enough about the actual inspiration and origin of the exhibit. I just wanted to give you guys an idea as far as where the idea started and what I was trying to do when I was building it. So now that we've done all of that, let's go ahead and move on to the actual tour, as it's like a 20-minute tour, so let's just do it. Alright, here we are, ladies and gents. So this is the start of the tour. Yeah, so the setting, as I said before, not much to look at, but it's just enough to surround the main attraction here. Let's just get straight on into it. Well, for a starter, we gotta talk about the vantage point, like where we're looking at. I'm a really big fan of how the buildings kind of contrast each other. It's actually the main reason why I built, one of the main reasons why this exhibit is inspired off of the Maryland Zoo exhibit is because, well, if you look at this picture right here, just the way the buildings contrast each other, I really wanted that. I wanted it almost like, it reminds me of an X, you know, one goes that way and the other one goes this way, and it overlaps with each other, even though both buildings are similar but different. But the way they are facing and the way that they're set up, it gives off just a really cool effect that I'm personally a fan of. and is again why I made this off of the Maryland Zoo exhibit. So anyway, though, I gotta love how the water looks compared to the buildings and the rock. I didn't know until recently that the water was improved from the update, and it does look so much better. I'm realizing now, much more crystal clear. Looks really good with the animals in them, unlike it used to be. God, I love the gray seals. They're actually they're my favorite animal in this DLC, which is why I wanted to make an exhibit off of them. I just love the way they move, the way they bounce, which I guess is movement, the way they, even the way they sound, and the models. The models are something special in this game. They really are. And the babies are amazing. In fact, something that really surprised me was, well, first off, the hitboxes are pretty disappointing for the adults. They cannot dare touch a rock. For some reason, they can't. The hitboxes won't let them, unfortunately. But on the other side, the babies can only be on the rock, so they can't go in the water, which is accurate, apparently. I guess I didn't realize this, but baby seals, they can't go in the water. They can't swim. It makes sense, actually, but I just didn't realize it until recently. So because the baby, who I did name Snowflake, I actually named all of them, you'll see, I'll show you later, the baby can actually go on all the rocks, almost all of them. I can place her over here, I can place her right here, she can even go on that one rock in the middle right there next to the buoy. I can place her anywhere on the rocks in here, and it's amazing. So it's like a win-lose situation. The adults, they can't go on the rocks, but the babies can go all over them. I find that actually hilarious. But I still had to find a way to get the adults to properly go on land and water. So the only source of land they have are the boards right there, which is actually one of their new enrichments. They will be placed on top of that when entered through the exhibit, which there is a door right behind that wall there. So they get thrown in, they land on the board, and they can crawl in from there. It's the best I could do with what the game was capable of. Anyway, though, so yeah, I just wanted to look at this vantage point for a bit. Let's keep going. Alright, so moving on, here we have just a really basic, fun little thing I built. This is just a little, I guess just a little cafe. I didn't even, I put this together so fast because, again, this was the very end of the project, and I was done. Okay, I was done with this thing. Yeah, it's, it's pretty basic and bland. I'm sorry. I definitely could have put a lot more work into this, but it's fine just to help provide some sort of background. The main point was the actual Pinniped Point, so just something simple, you know, basic, right? But forgetting that, because here is the actual good stuff. So if we get closer here, one of my favorite parts about the whole entire project is this little boardwalk, because I just love how real it looks. And again, I mean, obviously it's based on something real, and that's why I like looking at real things, because then it drives home that function, you know? You believe that this is a real thing. You can just walk over to, obviously not stand on top of the railing, but get close to the railing and get a really cool view of the seals as they do their thing. It's this kind of stuff that I appreciate, and it's the kind of stuff I like to build in Planet Zoo. Just making things that you can believe, making things that actually feel functional. And I feel like that's a harder thing to accomplish, and that's maybe why I like to try and do that, and why I take so freaking long to build stuff, but, you know, it's just it, right? It's worth it, in my opinion. I like this kind of stuff. Now, looking here at everything with the exhibit and whatnot, the seals doing their stuff, let's just talk a quick second about the groundwork for the exhibit. Now, the truth is, there are many different ways I could have gone with this. You know, I could have gone for more plaster-based ground and made it more like a green color, so that it kind of gives off like it gives off like a mossy effect. I've seen people already do that, so it's possible. It's more like a real zoo aquarium exhibit, like a real Pinniped exhibit. But honestly, I wanted to go for something more easy and more real looking. So what I want to envision with the groundwork in this exhibit is to imagine that the rock work, it is as realistic as it looks, but it's actually man-made. Like, these are all man-made. What the frick was that? So you just imagine that all this rock is handcrafted artificial rock all placed together to create a very realistic, beautiful underwater setting. Nothing too, nothing too colorful, quite basic in its colors, and no plants or anything, just beautiful artificial rocks placed to create a really cool underwater world for these guys. That is what I was going for. Okay, so you're going to hear me say this a lot, but this is another one of my favorite parts about this whole exhibit. This really cool overhang that provides shade, and I'm a big fan of the pillars with the you have to envision this is concrete and not freaking shape pieces that we have. Just, it gives off a really cool look. This kind of sells the harbor theme set in a zoo. Like, I just envision when you try and recreate something like this, when you try and take a harbor theme and convert it into a more of like an attraction setting, this is the kind of stuff you'd get, where it has this pilings and cloth, almost like the cloth of a sail ship, all put together to create a really cool overhang. So anyway, though, taking a look at this other vantage point, I'm gonna keep saying this, but I like how every view kind of gives you a different perspective on the rock work in the exhibit. And the seals, God, the seals are just so amazing. I keep looking at them, but I can't help it. So when everything's put together over here, this was like, this part actually took me the longest to make for some reason. I was kind of set in making it as beautiful as I could. And the building was something special to create. So this building, of course, is what they have, only different. So they have a more stone-based setting. I decided to make mine more wood, obviously. And so, okay, so based on my experience in actually working in harbors and being out there in the ocean quite a lot, I can tell you right now, salt over time essentially fades away the color and the material that wood is. Like, wood becomes more colorless and more brittle as salt air gets to it. And so that's exactly what I've created here. The wood is so bland because of the salt water. You just have to envision that it's faded away, and that's exactly what I want. And I think the color choice here actually really helps. It looks like it's been faded or something like that, and that's what I want. So that's what I was striving for. And then again, more like the kind of stuff up here with the metal beams and whatnot, that stuff just sells more of a harbor theme. That's the kind of stuff I wanted with this project. And the the overhang, the architecture, the metal beams, and the seals, it feels like, freaking seals constantly distracting me. It feels like harbor theme in a proper zoo, you know what I'm saying? It's that kind of architecture, man-made architecture I wanted. Alright, so here we are at the restrooms building. Now, well, actually, before we take a look at that, let's just talk about this building one last time. So, funny enough, this building was going to have an interior. So obviously, what it is supposed to be the seal house, the indoor part for the seals. I can just envision like pools in there, basic pools, and just a place for them to chill at nighttime. And I was originally going to build that, but the truth is, two reasons why I didn't. First off, the functionality. There was just no way it was really going to function properly. In fact, it was already quite a pain to get this exhibit to work, even without the interior, because of how tough it is for the seals to move around. And along with that, I did just run out of time. But you just have to envision that the staff can use the staff gate, go through the staff gate on this exclusive deck to the staff, where they can go into the building and, access the indoor part. That is the idea, and I think it sells it well, but you just have to imagine. So going down here, it's pretty basic, but yeah, just staff exclusive dock. Seals. I'm sorry, there's such a distraction, but yeah, that's what the purpose of the building is. As far as like more background build up, we have a restrooms building here. Quite basic, but it works as something to, add some background support. But moving on as we make our way to the Pinniped building. So this is another really cool part. I just like the way this looks. This absolutely looks like a zoo to me for some reason. It just does. Maybe it's the mural or something. It just looks cool. Yeah, speaking of the mural, I added that at the last minute. The wall, of course, was just like bland plaster, and then I think what I added looks pretty good. Just a glass viewing right here. I believe this is what they have in this part. I couldn't get any references on their exhibit for this part, but it works, you know. Get to see them go through here. For some reason, the seals definitely do not prefer coming over to this side. They can access the all the water in the the whole water in the whole exhibit. They can access, except for over here. I mean, they can go over here. Sorry, but they prefer not to. I don't get why. They rarely come over here, but occasionally, every once in a while, I'll see them come up to the pretty close to the glass and just twirl around and go back. It's pretty cool. I love the realism that this exhibit provides. But anyway, though, so here's where the disappointment kind of kicks in a little bit. Again, I apologize for this, but I honestly did not do nearly as much detail as I could have. Why am I stuck? Not nearly as much detail in here as I could have. It's rather bland and basic, and I'm sorry for that. But the truth is, I was just out of time. I have a lot of other things I need to work on in life in general, so I can do so much more, and I will with a project that amounts to something a lot more. But this is just a fun, really cool Pinniped exhibit with a really cool basic interior. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, rather basic. Again, just a really cool look over here. I like how the rocks work well against the and hold on, can't miss this. Again, it's so rare when they come across here. Oh god, that is so epic, just seeing them slide across this area. I especially like the building and how it kind of it provides a really cool backdrop to the view here, the water view. So yeah, I am proud of this. I am proud of the viewing area. I'm proud of what I did in here so far. I do wish I had put more detail in, but as I said before, I am out of time with this exhibit. I've worked on it for over a week now, and I've got a lot more to work on. But this exhibit will be up on the workshop, so if you do want to go in and fix all my mistakes, you are totally welcome to. But I do like what I have in here so far. I like the basic look. I like the colors. You got like a white against gray, yellow with a slightly darker yellow, two types of blue wall, darker, lighter. It's a cool look, and I really like the roof design as well, the ceiling I should say. And again, it is inspired, it's modeled off of the the penguin exhibit. Anyway, let's see, did they come across here again? I don't see them. You do see the baby though. Oh, it's so cute. Honestly, the baby seals are up there as the cutest thing in the game. They really are. The other one is still like the baby pygmy hippo, but the baby seal just kind of wrecks it. At least I think it is because of how new it is. Can't tell which one's cuter, but the baby seals are definitely up there as like one of my favorite things in the game now, and just period. One of my favorite things ever in Planet Zoo. They're so freaking cute. Anyway, moving over here, we have a really cool underwater, a bit more above, more half underwater kind of view that is achieved by staircase. So it's pretty simple, but you know, just 3 steps, you're down, and you get a really cool. It's like more like a waist level underwater viewing, which I think looks good. So just like the actual penguin exhibit, there's a bit of this cove here, separated by rocks from the actual water. The big difference between the penguin exhibit and what I have here is that this is all the same level. Theirs is a bit different. Theirs is actually a whole water level up. It's a part of a separate pool that's attached through a waterfall. And when you come over here, the water level is actually raised. So because all this stayed the same water. All the same water level. What is happening there? Because all this stayed the same water level, I decided to just add stairs here so you can get that more waist level height view. And I think it looks great. I really do. With the buoy in the background and with the rock work. Yeah, it just looks so cool. And they do come in here. We will wait and we will see them come into this cove. It does happen. Alright, there we are. Now it took a little bit of time, but our big male came in here. There he goes. So yeah, it is you see they can actually come in here. It just looks really cool. I'm a fan of this little cove in the pool. Anyway, though, let's go ahead and just move on, and let's start to wrap up this tour. All right, here we go out of the Pinniped building. So around the corner here, we do have another vantage point, an on-land vantage point of the little. I think I'm going to call this the Seal Cove because, again, that was the original name for this exhibit. So, because I still want that, this little part of the exhibit will be formally known as the Seal Cove. I think that works. I think that works really well. It's a shame they're not coming in here right now, but yeah, they do come up pretty close to the glass. It looks really cool. This is the kind of stuff, again, that I like to go for. Very realistic feeling. And it is basically what they have at the Maryland Zoo. If we keep going, we have another on-land viewpoint. It would be just so epic to see the seals come up really close to the glass and get onto the rock a little bit, but there's only so much you can get. So they'll get pretty close, but not as close as I'd wish, you know what I'm saying? The buoy, like the buoy over here, gotta tell you guys right now, that's not my design. Actually, that is a design from the, I forgot his name, but it is a workshop item, so credit to who made it. I just want to point out I did not make the buoy or the boat. If you saw that, we'll take a look and we'll get another look over there. Alright, here we are, everybody, with the conclusion of the Pinniped Point tour. I really want to know, what are your guys' thoughts on this whole exhibit? Was this worth the week of work I put into it? Let me know what you think about the actual exhibit itself, and was the surrounding area and interior as bad as I said it was? And was the actual habitat as good as I said it was? Because I do feel proud of it. I do feel like this is one of the best exhibits I've made so far. I do think it's actually going to be up there in so far some of the best Aquatic Pack projects. I'm just saying. I really put a lot of effort into the rock work. It took a lot of time, but it was worth it. And I do want to apologize for how long it's taken me, but I don't have a whole lot of opportunities to play the game right now in my life, and it's really just because I'm preparing for bigger things. But with the time that I am given, I am glad I put it to this, and I want you guys to know, or want you guys to tell me if you think it was worth it. And also, please let me know, do you want to see this in the workshop? I do plan to put it on there, but I'd like to know, do you prefer to have it as a map to actually walk around it for yourself, or I can actually blueprint it and make it a thing you can place down in your zoo? So you can actually have this, you can have your own seal converted Maryland Zoo, Brookfield Zoo name taken frickin' project, whatever you want to call this project. It's just a big collaboration of different ideas all put together, and it became Planet Zoo's Pinniped Point, and I'm really proud of it. So yeah, for the final time, let me know what you think about it, and I want to thank everyone so much for watching the video, and yeah, I'll see you guys in my next project, which should be very soon. So see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.